Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating topics in religious and scientific discussions. The scientific miracles mentioned in the Quran that have amazed scientists all over the world. Whether you're Muslim, Christian, atheist, or just curious, what you're about to hear will absolutely blow your mind. The Quran, a book revealed over 1,400 years ago, contains knowledge that modern science only discovered recently. Coincidence or divine revelation? Let's find out. 1. The expanding universe. In Surah Adh-Dhariyat 51:47, the Quran says, "And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are expanding it." Now think about that. Expanding it. In the 20th century, Edwin Hubble discovered that galaxies are moving away from each other, meaning the universe is literally expanding. How could someone in the 7th century possibly know that? There were no telescopes, no physics, no NASA. Yet the Quran clearly states that the universe is expanding, a fact that forms the foundation of modern cosmology today. 2. The origin of life. In Surah Al-Anbiya 21:30, Allah says, "We made every living thing from water. Will they not then believe?" Modern biology confirms that all living organisms are made mostly of water and depend on it to survive. Cells, the basic units of life, are over 70% water. Scientists only discovered this with the help of microscopes and molecular biology. But the Quran mentioned this 1,400 years ago, in the deserts of Arabia, to people who barely had access to fresh water. 3. The embryo development. In Surah Al-Mu'minun 23:12-14, it says, "We created man from an extract of clay. Then we made him as a drop in a place of settlement, firmly fixed. Then we made the drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump, and we made the lump into bones, and we clothed the bones with flesh." When modern scientists like Dr. Keith Moore, a leading embryologist from Canada, studied these verses, he was shocked. He said, "The descriptions in the Quran of the human embryo are strikingly accurate, even though they were recorded centuries before the invention of the microscope." How could a 7th century man know the precise stages of human development inside the womb? Something that science discovered only in the 20th century? 4. The mountains as pegs. The Quran says in Surah An-Naba 78:6-7, "Have we not made the earth as a bed, and the mountains as pegs?" Modern geology confirms that mountains have deep roots, stabilizing the earth's crust, like nails holding down a tent. This concept of mountain roots wasn't known until geologists developed the theory of plate tectonics in the 20th century. The Quran described mountains as pegs, a perfect metaphor for their stabilizing function. Once again, science catches up to revelation. 5. The barrier between seas. Now let's look at the barrier between two seas. In Surah Ar-Rahman 55:19-20, he released the two seas, meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier they do not cross. Oceanographers discovered that when two bodies of water meet, like the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, there's a barrier between them that separates their different salinity, temperature, and density. They mix only at a very slow rate. This invisible barrier was only observed with advanced scientific tools, but it's clearly mentioned in the Quran more than 1,000 years earlier. 6. The iron miracle. In Surah Al-Hadid 57:25, Allah says, "And we sent down iron, wherein is great military might and benefits for the people." Notice the words "sent down." Scientists later discovered that iron isn't naturally formed on Earth. It came from massive stars that exploded in supernovae, literally sent down from space. This aligns perfectly with what the Quran stated. 7. Darkness of the deep sea. In Surah An-Nur 2440. Darkness in a vast deep sea covered by waves, upon which are waves, over which are clouds. Oceanographers now know that in deep seas there are internal waves below the surface, and that sunlight can't penetrate beyond 200 meters, creating total darkness. No human in the 7th century had ever dived that deep, yet the Quran describes it in perfect detail. So, what does this all mean? Is it just coincidence that every one of these Quranic statements aligns with modern scientific facts, from cosmology to embryology to geology? Or is this evidence of divine revelation, a message beyond human knowledge? The Quran was revealed to a man who couldn't read or write, yet it contains facts that the most advanced scientists only discovered centuries later. As Allah says in Surah Fusilat 41:53, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth." Maybe that time has already come. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who loves exploring the connection between faith and science. And tell me in the comments, which of these miracles amazed you the most? See you in the next video, where we'll uncover more hidden miracles of the Quran.